When freshman year started, my billionaire dad, worth hundreds of billions, insisted I play poor just so I could fit in with the other students. I might have played the part a little too well. Before long, the entire school knew Alexandra was the local charity case who had the nerve to thirst after the ultra-rich school heartthrob, hoping to social climb her way into high society. On the heartthrob's birthday, the school's it girl, looking to humiliate me, publicly offered me $10,000 to jump into the freezing pool in the dead of winter. Right then, my dad's helicopter began circling over the villa, and he shouted through a megaphone, "Whoever is willing to perform a high dive for my daughter, Alexandra, gets $100,000 a pop." Subscribe now, the story begins. I don't know how other people show up for their first day of college, but to make sure I blended in, my parents had me ride to the front gates on an old farm tractor. When I hopped off clutching a woven plastic sack, I instantly became the most scenic attraction on campus. My roommates were catatonic when they saw me. "Are those actual straw sandals on your feet?" one of them asked, bewildered. I looked down. They were a pair of LV limited edition straw weave sneakers that cost over $20,000. "Is there something wrong with them?" I asked, feeling self-conscious. Did I fail at being poor on day one? I thought these looked cheap enough. They shook their heads with bizarre expressions, quickly saying nothing was wrong. My heart sank. I felt like they were already on to me. Time for Plan B, the bottle collector initiative. So, from that day on, as soon as class let out, I dragged my LV branded sack around, frantically collecting plastic bottles in front of everyone. Within a month, I had successfully convinced the entire student body that Alexandra was dirt poor. Because of this, I actually got along great with my roommates. I was thrilled to be meeting my dad's expectations. One day, I was resting in the shade with my sack when I heard people gossiping about me behind a tree. It was my roommates, Lily and the resident queen bee, Selena. "Doesn't Alexandra feel any shame? Dragging that bag around picking up trash all day? Ugh, please. You think she's actually recycling? She thinks she's hot stuff. She uses the bottle collecting as an excuse to hang around Sebastian to get his attention. That makes so much sense. No wonder I always see her lurking near him. She's so calculating. Who the hell is Sebastian?" I had no clue. Whatever, didn't matter. I walked right around the tree and stood in front of them. As their faces went pale with embarrassment, I looked at them with genuine curiosity. "Is Sebastian your biological father?" Lily and Selena frowned. "Alexandra, what are you talking about?" I rolled my eyes. "You're so obsessed with Sebastian, I figured you were just worried about me becoming your stepmom." Their faces turned purple. "Alexandra, you..." Pfft. A light chuckle drifted down from above. We looked up to see a tall, handsome guy lying on a thick branch. He sat up slowly, his sapphire blue eyes locking onto mine. "Sorry, ladies," he said, his voice smooth and clear. "I'm not nearly old enough to have daughters that much of a headache." Lily and Selena turned bright red and ran off in total humiliation. I looked at the guy and it clicked. I remembered him. A few times when I'd walked past, he'd stop me, finish the last third of his water, and hand me the bottle. So this was Sebastian. I turned to leave, but he called out to me. "Though, if you really want to be their stepmom, I guess I could take one for the team and adopt them as daughters." I declined without hesitation. I didn't want daughters as annoying as Lily and Selena. After their true colors were exposed, Lily and Selena started icing me out in the dorm. While a few other girls were over hanging out, Lily intentionally spoke up loudly. "Zoe, are you and Ava coming to the seafood buffet tonight?" Zoe looked at me. "Alexandra, do you want to come?" I was actually curious what a seafood buffet was. Lily sneered. "Zoe, why even ask? Alexandra probably doesn't even have a $20 daily budget. The buffet is $168 a head. Can she even afford a glass of water there?" I was confused. Is there a big difference between $20 and $168? Aren't those just the amounts the cashiers usually round off as change when I buy things? The next day, we had a massive lecture with 3 different classes combined. The moment I stepped into the room, someone called out, "Alexandra, I heard you're too good for a $168 buffet. Did you finally bag the school heartthrob, Sebastian?" The room went dead silent. Everyone was leaning in, waiting for my reaction. "Why would you think I'd date Sebastian for a $168 meal?" I asked, finding the whole thing ridiculous. Or do you just think so little of Sebastian that he's only worth $168 to you? The guy looked like he wanted to snap back, but suddenly, everyone's expression shifted to something complicated. They were all looking behind me. Before I could turn around, I felt someone lean in close to my ear. A lazy, melodic voice whispered, "Then tell me, how much would it take for you to be with Sebastian?" "No amount of money," I replied instinctively, turning around. "Unless, I didn't get to finish unless it's someone I actually like," before my lips brushed against something soft. My eyes went wide. Right in front of me was a pair of deep, beautiful eyes, his pupils shrinking for a split second. His thick, long lashes fluttered slightly, brushing against my heart like a tiny fan. The entire class let out a collective gasp. I snapped out of it and pushed Sebastian away. He had been leaning down, frozen in place. My face was on fire. My first kiss. I ignored the shocked stares and the whispers of "Alexandra is so shameless, she totally planned that to steal a kiss from him." I moved to the back row to mourn my lost innocence. I was seriously debating whether or not to punch him. Then, his voice drifted over again, teasingly, "Unless what? Unless I give you a kiss and you agree to be my girlfriend?" I fought the urge to roll my eyes. "In your dreams. Give me my first kiss back." His eyes lit up instantly. "So, if I kiss you again, does that count as giving it back?" I almost nodded before I realized the logical fallacy. I glared at him, only to find him looking at me with a smirk. I realized he was playing me. A light bulb went off. "You really want to return my first kiss?" "Yeah," he said, looking incredibly sincere. I flashed a brilliant smile. "Fine. My first kiss is reserved for the richest guy on campus. Once I find out who he is, I'll let you know, and you can go kiss him to pass it along for me." A strange emotion flashed in his eyes. "You think I'm not rich enough?" I was about to shake my head, since I didn't really have a solid concept of rich, when a piece of paper was slammed onto my desk. Nora was looking down at me with pure disdain. "Alexandra," she announced loudly for the whole room to hear. "The administration told me to give you this financial hardship grant application. Fill it out already." The room went into another weird silence. "No thanks," I said, frowning. "I have enough money. I don't need a grant. Give it to someone who actually needs it." Nora let out a harsh laugh. "You're poor, just accept it. Why act like you're too good for help? Fine, don't come crying to me when you're starving." She snatched the paper back and shot me a look of pure disgust. The news that I rejected the hardship grant blew up on the school's internal forum. When I got back to the dorm, Nora and Lily were looking at me with smug satisfaction. Only Zoe looked conflicted as she showed me her phone. The headline was, "Campus Charity Case, Alexandra proudly claims she doesn't need money in front of entire class." It was a secret recording of me saying I didn't need the grant. The comments were brutal. One anonymous user posted a photo of me picking up bottles. "Look at this. Wearing tribal straw shoes and carrying a sack, she's literally a trash collector and she's still acting like she's too lofty for a grant." Another replied, "Maybe she really isn't short on cash. I heard she's thick-skinned enough to throw herself at Sebastian in class. Who knows how many guys she's playing for money behind the scenes." The thread was full of shocked memes and comments like, "LMAO, so she doesn't need money because she has a whole fleet of simps. Game recognizes game." I didn't feel a thing reading it. But Zoe asked hesitantly, "Alexandra, don't you want to clear the air?" I was actually just annoyed. I didn't think refusing to take money meant for the truly needy would ruin my poor girl cover. I looked at Zoe. Do I still not look poor enough? That earned me 3 blank stares. Meanwhile, I had no idea that a user named Sebastian had posted something on the forum that nearly crashed the servers. This is annoying. I'm pretty sure I'm worth more than all of Alexandra's simps combined. Why hasn't she tried to play me yet? Do I not look enough like an easy target with too much money? The student body lost its collective mind. OMG. Is that really Sebastian? Was he hacked? Probably a fake account. Maybe it's Alexandra's burner account, she's totally gaslighting us. Sebastian's dorm, after posting, Sebastian looked at his roommates with a dead serious expression. Do I not look rich enough? His roommates looked at his outfit, which easily cost over $1 million, and felt their fists twitching. Walking across campus, I could feel the weird looks and the whispering. I didn't care. I was too busy trying to figure out how to pivot my image back to extremely impoverished. I got to class and overheard some people talking. Lily was pouting at a guy. "Do you guys really love fishing that much?" "There's a meme about it," the guy replied. A guy caught a dead body while fishing, and he just set it aside so it wouldn't ruin his flow. He fished all night and only called the cops the next day. Is it really that magical? I eavesdropped harder. Selena added, "It's probably true. Liam took me fishing once, it was $1,000 a person and he didn't even blink. The environment was great, though. So many pretty fish. I caught a bunch." My eyes lit up. I found it. My new poor angle. My dad loves fishing at his private fisheries. "Wow," I said, putting on a look of total shock. "You guys can afford to go fishing? Your families must be so rich." Unlike me, I've never even been fishing in my life. The atmosphere in the room froze instantly. Then, a light chuckle came from the doorway. Sebastian had entered the room. Sebastian walked over to them and said nonchalantly, "Is fishing your only hobby?" "That's a bit dull. Personally, I prefer taking my $50 million yacht out to the deep sea to fish for sharks." With that, he breezed past us and exited through the back door of the classroom. I stared, bewildered, at Selena and the others, whose faces had turned a sour shade of pale. Lily, seeing my confused expression, rolled her eyes and snapped at me. "Alexandra, why are you acting like such a clueless White Lotus right now? It's not like you don't have enough simps on your hook already. Everyone knows you have the biggest dating pool in school." My face paled for a different reason. "How did you find out that 80% of the fish farms in Seaside City belong to my family? Had I failed at playing poor because they already knew who I was?" The air went dead silent. Finally, one girl spoke up, sounding completely exhausted. "Alexandra, your delusions are getting out of hand. You haven't even bagged Sebastian yet, and you're already trying to claim his family's fish farms as your own?" I was stunned. Sebastian's family owned fish farms too? Because of the fish farm comment, the whole school became convinced I had officially gone crazy from being poor. They thought I was hallucinating that I was Sebastian's girlfriend and that his inheritance was mine. Though the details were a bit off, it finally made everyone believe I was truly destitute. I was beyond satisfied. A few days later, we were back in a large lecture hall. I was in a great mood until a deep, magnetic voice sounded right behind me. "I heard you want my family's fish farms. Should I just give them to you as a dowry?" I turned around to find Sebastian looking at me with a playful smirk. He was teasing me again. I gave my standard reply, "No thanks. I'm holding out for a dowry from the richest guy on campus." Sebastian got a look on his face, like he knew something I didn't. Soon, the professor called students up to present on different architectural structures. When it was Sebastian's turn, the screen flickered to life, showing a stunningly luxurious castle estate. Sebastian said calmly, "I originally wanted to show you the layout of my family's 2,000 square meter villa. But when I was picking photos last night, I must have grabbed the wrong ones. This is actually our 50,000 square meter chateau in France. Since it's already up, I'll just talk about the architectural features of this estate. If any of you have a villa or estate more luxurious than mine, feel free to show us." The class was catatonic. As Sebastian walked through the features of the estate, the students gasped in awe. Their envy was palpable. I was the only one who felt like something was familiar. When a high-def photo of a fountain came on screen, a sculpture of a cherub holding a fish with a missing tail, my eyes nearly popped out of my head. I recognized it. That was the estate next door to mine in France. When I was a kid, my parents and I used to vacation at our chateau. I was a bit of a brat back then. I used to climb trees and hop the wall to play at the neighbor's place. One time, I accidentally snapped off the tail of the fish the cherub was holding. I was terrified my parents would find out I'd snuck over and broken something. Later, my parents told me that when they went to pick me up from the neighbor's house, I refused to go. I had grabbed onto a very handsome little boy and insisted I was going to marry him. My logic was that if I married him, both estates would be mine, and I wouldn't get in trouble for breaking my own stuff. Back at the dorm, I couldn't stop thinking, could Sebastian be the little boy I harassed for an entire summer? My mom said I cried all night when he finally went back to China to get away from me. The thought made me want to curl up and die of embarrassment. I didn't even want to look at him anymore. I tried to tell myself he probably didn't remember anything from back then. Zoe, did you vote for Sebastian yet? Lily asked as she walked back in. I was curious. Zoe looked confused. Vote for what? The richest guy on campus poll. Sebastian is winning by a landslide. I was full of questions. Why would people be so bored that they'd make a poll like that? Didn't they realize that being too rich would make him an outcast? The poll was supposed to last 3 days. I ignored it and went to class as usual. But the moment I stepped into the room, I heard a chorus of oohs and ahs. Wow, Selena! Those new crystal sandals are amazing. They look so retro and chic. A group of girls was huddled around Selena's feet. Then, someone whispered, they look familiar, like I've seen them somewhere. One girl pointed at my feet. Look, Alexandra's plastic sandals look just like Selena's. I glanced at Selena's shoes. Aside from the color and a few tiny details, they were identical to mine. I looked at Selena, genuinely surprised. Are you so poor now that you can only afford sandals like these too? Selena's face turned bright red. Lily snapped at me. Alexandra, shut up. Stop trying to make yourself look good. You're wearing the cheap plastic junk my grandma used to buy at the grocery store 20 years ago. Selena is wearing LV crystal sandals. They're $5,000 a pair. I blurted out instinctively, only $5,000? Is that not cheap enough? The entire classroom went silent. I realized I'd messed up again. Thankfully, Sebastian's voice cut through the silence from the doorway. He was talking to a friend. These shoes I'm wearing were only $120,000. Proof that you get what you pay for, they're not even comfortable. I should have stuck with my $580,000 sneakers. The silence in the room became terrifying. I watched them walk past the window and let out a sigh of relief. Selena, however, looked like she was about to explode. She buried her face in her arms and stayed that way for the entire lecture. Back at the dorm, Selena was fuming. She marched over to the trash can and slammed her sandals into it right in front of me. She gave me a cold, hard look. Alexandra, you just wait. I looked at the row of LV plastic sandals on my shoe rack and asked, wait for what? Are you planning to throw mine away too? Selena looked like she was going to have an aneurysm. That night, just as I was about to go to sleep, ding. Someone had sent me a friend request. The verification message was just one name, Sebastian. I was confused as to why he'd add me now. I hesitated for a second before hitting accept. He didn't say anything at first. Instead, he sent a screenshot. It was his ID photo, looking cool and sharp under a bold header, champion, richest guy on campus. I replied with 3 question marks. Sebastian typed back instantly, no thoughts? I thought about it long and hard. Then, it clicked. Are you worried about being isolated? I asked. My dad had told me that flaunting wealth is the fastest way to become an outcast. Sebastian had been careless, talking about yachts, shark fishing, and estates. Winning that poll was probably the first step toward social suicide for him. I felt a surge of gratitude toward my dad for making me play poor, otherwise I'd be in the same sinking boat as Sebastian. He didn't reply, which I took as a yes. I thought for a moment and then messaged him, how about this, starting tomorrow, why don't you come pick up bottles with me? Just tell everyone your family went bankrupt. Sebastian replied quickly this time, but it was just a string of ellipses. I didn't get it. Before I could ask what that meant, he sent another message. Are you going home for New Year's? New Year's was over a month away. I didn't know why he was asking so early. Of course, I replied. My birthday is around then. I'm having a party. Do you want to come over to my place? I was torn. Normally, I'd say no. But Sebastian was likely the little boy from the estate. And his family's fountain was still broken because of me. I'll think about it, I finally said. After a few minutes, he replied with an okay and went silent. Over the next 2 weeks, I kept an eye on Sebastian during our shared lectures to see if he was being bullied for being rich. He was always surrounded by a crowd of guys, though. They seemed very eager to talk to him, while he just leaned back in his chair, his long arms draped over the backrest, barely responding. He looked like he just couldn't be bothered. I figured he must have found a way to prevent himself from being isolated. I have to admit, after observing him for 2 weeks, I realized he was incredibly handsome. Sharp features, a perfect jawline, eyes like stars, and a high bridge on his nose, he didn't have a single bad angle. He was tall, with long, powerful legs that drew eyes whenever he moved. Every casual movement he made radiated an innate sense of nobility. I decided to stop watching him before I got too distracted. But a few days later, during another lecture, Sebastian poked me with his pen. When I turned around, he asked, "Why'd you stop looking at me?" I blushed. Was I not being subtle enough? "Because you finally washed your face," I blurted out, thinking fast. Sebastian just stared at me, his face going blank. For the rest of the morning, I felt like the temperature in the room had dropped 10 degrees, especially coming from behind me. I couldn't help but rub my arms. Suddenly, a jacket smelling of something cool and expensive was draped over my head. Sebastian's low voice sounded near my ear. "Even if winter comes late in the city, it's already November. Stop wearing thin dresses and sandals." I felt a strange warmth in my chest. I pulled the jacket down and wrapped it around myself. After class, I was about to give it back when a scream rang out. "What?" "Ava, your $100,000 diamond necklace is gone." Everyone in the room turned toward Selena and Lily. "A $100,000 necklace? That's huge! Call the police." "Selena, when did you lose it?" Selena looked helpless. "I think this morning. I took it off last night and put it in my bag. I got here early today, went to the restroom, and left my bag here." She looked devastated. "It was a birthday gift from my mom. I can't believe I was so careless." Lily immediately piped up. "Someone definitely went through your bag this morning. We should search everyone's bags. We'll find it." I felt uneasy about that. Suddenly, I caught Lily's eye. "Wait, I remember now," Lily said, pointing at me. "When we went to the restroom this morning, there were hardly any people in here, but Alexandra was definitely in the classroom. Let's search her bag first." No one protested. Lily started toward me. I was officially done with this. Just because I was in the room doesn't mean you can search me. There are security cameras, just check the footage. Lily snapped back. "Who knows if the cameras even work? And you and Selena were the only ones who went back to the dorm first last night. You're the prime suspect. What's the big deal about searching your bag? Unless you actually did steal it. I mean, look at you. You can't even afford a $50 necklace, let alone one that costs $100,000. The others started giving me suspicious looks. Some girls even started pressuring me. "Alexandra, just let her search it. If your conscience is clear, what are you afraid of?" I gripped my bag. "If you're going to search, search everyone. Everyone puts their bags on the table. I'm not letting you single me out." The other girls looked annoyed. "We weren't even here when it was stolen. Why should we be searched?" "I'm starving." "You're being so defensive that I'm starting to think it was you. You're the poorest one here, after all." I almost laughed. "So because I'm poor, I'm automatically a thief? What happens if you don't find it in my bag?" Lily answered with total confidence, "If it's not there, I'll apologize." "But what if it is?" She answered too fast. Something was wrong. Before I could react, Lily lunged forward, snatched my bag, and dumped everything onto the floor. A brilliant diamond necklace tumbled out, glittering brightly on the ground for everyone to see. Lily didn't waste a second. She snatched the necklace off the floor and shoved it right in my face. "This is Ava's necklace. Alexandra, what do you have to say for yourself now?" In an instant, every pair of eyes in the room turned toward me with pure loathing, as if I were some lowlife thief. Alexandra is so disgusting. It's one thing to shamelessly play Sims for money, but she's a common thief too? Stealing a $100,000 necklace. Ugh, she's clearly a pro. No wonder she acted like a $168 buffet was beneath her and claimed $5,000 shoes were cheap. She's probably been stealing for years. I looked at the necklace dangling in front of me and arched an eyebrow. I was about to speak when a clear, cold voice cut through the noise. "Just because the necklace was in Alexandra's bag doesn't mean she stole it, does it?" Everyone turned to look at Sebastian. They were stunned. No one could believe he was actually defending me. Sebastian scanned the room and added nonchalantly, given her standards, she didn't even care for the $1 million gifts I tried to give her. Why would she bother with a trinket worth a measly 100,000? I was completely baffled. When did Sebastian ever give me a $1 million gift? I don't remember that at all. The rest of the class, however, was having a mental breakdown. They looked at me as if asking what kind of voodoo I'd use to get Sebastian to offer me $1 million presents. I ignored them. Taking Sebastian's lead, I said calmly, Sebastian is right. I wouldn't want this necklace, let alone steal it. Not just because it's only worth 100,000, but because it's a fake. Before the words even fully left my mouth, Selena pointed a shaking finger at me, trembling with rage. Alexandra! It's one thing to deny being a thief, but how dare you claim my necklace is fake? My dad bought this for my birthday. I looked at her innocently. But it is a fake. This brand's diamond necklaces use 18K rose gold and feature 39 precision-cut diamonds. The color and texture of yours are completely off. The rose gold is too pink, and the diamonds are clearly cubic zirconia. The room went silent. Lily froze for a moment before snapping back, Alexandra, quit your know-it-all act. You're a literal trash collector. How would you know a real diamond from a fake? If you don't believe me, I replied, take it to an appraiser. No need for all that trouble, Sebastian said, raising his phone. I'll just call some appraisers here right now. Half an hour later, 3 professional appraisers arrived. Within 2 minutes, they all confirmed the necklace was a high-quality knockoff. Selena ran out of the classroom in tears. 2 weeks passed before Selena showed up at school again. This time, she had a genuine necklace and a matching bracelet. She made sure to flash them at everyone. My dad got scammed before, she claimed loudly. He spent 100,000 on a fake by mistake. To make it up to me, he went to France personally to buy me the latest set. I glanced at them. They were actually last year's models. But I didn't have the energy to call her out again. I was too excited, winter break started next week. I was homesick. The night before break, Sebastian sent me a text, have you thought it over? I replied with a bunch of question marks. Thought what over? Sebastian sent a string of ellipses before typing, my birthday is January 2nd. Here is the address. Make sure you come. I finally remembered our conversation. This time, I didn't refuse. When I was framed as a thief, Sebastian was the only one who stood firmly by my side. Plus, I was curious, was that $1 million gift thing just a lie he made up, or did it actually happen? My parents had forced me to stay at school on weekends to build independence, so when I returned to Seaside City for the holidays, they showered me with attention. How's college life, sweetie? My dad asked. I told them everything. Dad, the playing poor thing was a total success, I said proudly. The whole school thinks I'm destitute. I didn't blow my cover once. My parents exchanged a look. My dad's eye twitched. And, did you fit in? I scratched my head. Well, maybe not exactly, they constantly talk about me. They say that even though I'm poor, I'm so skilled I managed to wrap the school heartthrob around my finger. But I swear I didn't do anything. My parents stared at me, dumbfounded. Finally, it clicked for my dad. Wait a minute, honey, is this Sebastian, the youngest son of the Gu family? One of the 4 big tycoons who moved back to Seaside City recently? I think so, I said. My dad jumped up. It's definitely him. Last month his sister told your brother that the kid has been obsessed with you for over 10 years. You stay away from him. If he thinks he's getting our little girl, he's got another thing coming. My heart skipped a beat. Obsessed for 10 years? Why? Because he wanted me to pay for the broken fountain? But Dad, I said awkwardly, I promised to go to his birthday party tomorrow. My dad went into full overprotective mode. He pulled out a tiny bugging device. Wear this the whole time. Don't you dare take it off, you hear me? The Gu family villa was about an hour from my house. The driver dropped me off at the gate, and I walked in wearing a dress I usually reserved for high-end events. As soon as I entered, a wave of whispers followed me. Is that Alexandra? I knew she was pretty, but this? She's way more stunning than Selena. Alexandra's clothes and jewels look incredibly expensive. My heart hammered. I didn't realize Sebastian had invited our classmates. This outfit alone was worth at least $1 million. If I was spotted, my poor girl cover would be blown. I was looking for Sebastian when Selena blocked my path. Alexandra, you really went all out for Sebastian, didn't you? Renting such an expensive outfit, you better be careful. If you even get a scratch on that, you'll never be able to pay it off. I looked at her, exhausted. Do you live by the ocean, Selena? She looked confused. What does that have to do with anything? Because you're acting like a lifeguard, I quipped. Always overstepping and managing everyone's business. In my ear, I heard my dad's voice through the wiretap. Nice one, honey. A light chuckle came from the side. Sebastian walked over, his eyes lighting up with joy. He was wearing a sharp suit and looked breathtakingly handsome. Alexandra, you made it. I handed him a small box. Happy birthday. Sebastian looked thrilled. He took the gift and led me inside to get some food. After dinner, I stepped outside to the pool area to get some air. As I was walking along the edge, someone suddenly shoved me. I barely managed to steady myself. Oh my God, Alexandra! Lily's voice shrieked. Why did you try to push Selena? You're so malicious. Before I could respond, Selena chimed in, forget it, Lily. Karma got her. Her dress isn't cheap, it's probably $300,000 or $400,000. Look, she spilled red wine all over it. She's going to be in debt for life trying to pay for that rental. I looked down at the wine stain on my gown. Whether I can afford it or not isn't your concern, I said coldly. But I know you couldn't pay for it. After all, to you, a few $100,000 is enough to kill someone. Selena's face twisted. You think I can't afford it? Alexandra, I'm going to show you exactly how big the gap is between us today. I'll give you a chance. Jump into the pool right now, and I'll give you $10,000. Do it 40 times, and you'll have the money you need to pay for that dress. Well? Are you jumping? A collective gasp went around the crowd. Murmurs were drowned out by my dad's furious screaming in my ear, insolent brat. $10,000 wouldn't even buy one strand of my daughter's hair. Don't be afraid, honey. Daddy's almost there. I was about to walk away when Sebastian rushed over. Before I could answer him, a thunderous roar filled the air. A massive spotlight pinned us where we stood. A powerful voice boomed through a megaphone from the sky, whoever is willing to perform a high dive for my daughter, Alexandra, gets $100,000 a pop. My dad descended from a helicopter. Someone in the crowd pointed at him and screamed, it's him. The seafood tycoon, Benjamin Xia. He's worth hundreds of billions. He's Alexandra's father? What? Her dad is a multi-billionaire? My dad stood by my side, glaring at Selena and Lily. Were you two trying to humiliate my daughter with pocket change? I'll be more generous. Who wants to jump for my daughter? One jump, $100,000. Selena and Lily turned white. Their legs were shaking. To make matters worse, Sebastian added, if you jump for Alexandra, I'll add another 100,000 on top of that. Selena finally snapped. She burst into tears and fled, with Lily chasing after her. The next day, in my family's living room, Sebastian and his parents came to apologize. My dad grumbled, apologizing is fine, but no marriage talk. My daughter marries who she likes. Sebastian stood up immediately. Alexandra said she would only accept a dowry from the richest guy on campus, he said. He showed his phone to my dad. Look, sir. I'm officially ranked number 1. My dad and I both stared at the screen. Ultimately, my dad gave Sebastian the cold shoulder, claiming that next year someone might take the top spot. Before leaving, Sebastian vowed that the title would belong to him for all 4 years. I overheard my dad talking to my mom later. That Sebastian kid is a wolf cub. Alexandra is so innocent, he's going to trick her. I have to go to school with her as a chaperone. My mom slapped his arm. Stop meddling. Back on campus, everything was different. Everyone was trying to suck up to me. I just realized, Alexandra, your shoes really are over $20,000, aren't they? And those bags, they were actually LV all along. Selena never returned to school. It turned out her family was just middle class and she'd funded her lifestyle with predatory online loans. Lily moved out and avoided me. I didn't care. My goal was to top the department and prove to my dad how smart I am. Someone sat down next to me. A clean, tea-like scent drifted over, and the room went silent. I turned to see Sebastian sitting beside me, looking perfectly at ease. He leaned close to my ear and whispered, "Listen, even if you don't want a marriage alliance right now, that shouldn't stop me from courting you, right?" I arched an eyebrow and looked at him. "Well then, you better work harder." More dramatic love stories coming. Subscribe if you're into this kind of mess. Tell us what kind of story you would like to watch.